Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into the latest AI buzz, straight from August 8th, 2025. Our goal, like always, is to sift through everything and pull out those key moments, those real aha insights from the flood of AI news we get daily.
And it really is a flood this time. I mean, the sheer amount of stuff, the speed of it all, it's quite something. Hopefully this conversation will help you cut through that noise and, really get what matters and why. We're seeing some surprising changes and some genuinely groundbreaking stuff happening across, well, all sorts of fields.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The big one arguably has to be OpenAI's GPT-5. The headline that really stood out to me is that they've rolled it out for everyone. Free users get a limited version, plus this new GPT-5 mini. And then pro subscribers, they get unlimited access to a beefier GPT-5 Pro. But it's more than just access tiers, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about some pretty significant new tricks up its sleeve. The sources mentioned it can quickly whip up code for custom web applications just from simple prompts. Yeah, think about that. It basically removes the need to know programming, at least for certain types of apps.
So what's the real impact there? Is it just convenience or something bigger?
I think it's much bigger. It's sort of democratizing app creation, Suddenly, anyone with a solid idea but zero coding skills can potentially build their own thing. That could really unleash innovation from people who were previously sidelined. The barrier just dropped dramatically. And there's also a really important shift in their safety approach, too. It's subtle but significant. Instead of just saying no to potentially tricky questions, it tries to find the best safe way to answer. So it's trying to understand innocent queries that might just sound a bit off to an AI.
So it's getting better at context, trying to be helpful but still safe.
Exactly. It feels like a more mature approach, understanding user intent better.
That's a really interesting evolution. And what's also striking is just how fast this thing is getting plugged into everything else. The ecosystem is reacting immediately.
Right. That shows you how much value the industry sees in it straight away. Microsoft, for instance, didn't waste any time. They've already woven GPT-5 into their consumer apps, their developer tools, enterprise stuff.
Like what specifically?
Well, think Copilot, Azure AI Studio, Microsoft 365. They're getting boosts in reasoning, better memory, and these multimodal capabilities.
Multimodal meaning text, images.
Text, images, yeah, even video understanding and generation.
Yeah.
It's across the board. And the speed they integrated it, that really tells a story.
Okay, so Microsoft is all in. What about the other big players? Apple.
Yep, Apple's in the mix too. They confirmed Apple Intelligence is getting GPT-5 with iOS 26.
iOS 26. So that's likely iPhone 17 then.
That's the expectation.
Yeah.
And Siri will be the main way users interact with it, specifically when Apple's own AI can't handle the request. It'll tap into GPT-5's better reasoning, the coding tools we mentioned, voice interaction, even video perception. Apparently, it's a big step up from GPT-4o.
But knowing Apple, privacy must be a huge concern here. How are they handling that?
Good question. They're sticking to their guns on privacy. IP addresses will be obscured, and OpenAI won't store the requests. It's basically the same protection method they introduced back in iOS 18.
Makes sense. So major integrations happening. What else is OpenAI doing with GPT-5?
They've also updated their own offerings, naturally. The GPT-5 models are in the API for developers. And for ChatGPT users, there are 4 new personalities you can chat with, plus a more advanced voice mode and ways to customize your chats. More options, more control.
Okay, so on one side, we have these incredibly powerful models like GPT-5 getting adopted super quickly. But then you see these huge strategic shifts in how companies are actually building the infrastructure for AI. This next bit of news, it really surprised me. A massive pivot from Tesla. What happened there?
Yeah, this is a big one. Tesla basically disbanded its Dojo supercomputer team.
Wow, really? The whole team?
Seems like it. They're ending their internal chip development specifically for driverless tech. Peter Bannon, who led the team, he's leaving. Others are being moved around within Tesla.
So what does that mean for their strategy? They were betting so heavily on Dojo.
It means a major shift. They're going to rely much more heavily on partners now, like NVIDIA and AMD, for their compute needs. And get this, they just signed a massive $16.5 billion deal with Samsung.
$16.5 billion? For what?
For Samsung to manufacture their new AI6 inference chips. So they're still designing some chips, just not the core Dojo training silicon, it seems.
But didn't Musk call Dojo the cornerstone for full self-driving?
He did. That's why this is such a pivot. Now he's talking up a different AI training cluster called Cortex. It completely changes their narrative around vertical integration for AI compute.
That Tesla news really makes you think, doesn't it? About going it alone versus relying on the existing ecosystem for something as massive as AI compute.
Absolutely. It raises big questions about deep vertical integration versus leveraging established players, especially when the scale gets this huge.
And Tesla isn't the only one making interesting strategic moves, right? We're seeing other plays in the industry.
For sure. Microsoft, again, they unveiled something called Wassette.
Wassette. Okay, what's that?
It's an open source AI agent runtime. Think of it like a secure little box built with Rust and WebAssembly, designed to run AI agent tasks efficiently and safely. It can run these agents in sandbox environments across different platforms, which could make AI agents more reliable and easier to deploy securely.
Interesting. And what about XAI, Elon Musk's other venture?
Right, XAI and Grok. Two things there. First, Musk mentioned they plan to put ads in Grok's responses.
Why would I think AI's answer?
Yeah, his reasoning was like, if you're asking Grok how to solve a problem, maybe advertising the solution is actually helpful. We'll see how that lands.
Okay. And the other thing?
He also announced on X that they're going to open source their Grok 2 model next week. This follows OpenAI starting to open up some models earlier. So there's definitely a growing trend towards open sourcing, even among the big competitors.
That's fascinating. Any other sort of business or industry moves that jumped out?
Well, the browser company launched a subscription for its AI browser, Baya, $20 a month.
An AI browser subscription.
Yeah, for unlimited access to its chat and skills features. They're positioning it directly against Perplexity's Comet. So we're seeing monetization models emerge for these specialized AI tools.
Right.
Microsoft Copilot also got an upgrade, integrating GPT-5 with a new smart mode. It automatically switches to the big gun, GPT-5, when the task needs it, makes it feel more seamless.
Okay.
And maybe less expectedly, Truth Social launched Truth Search AI. It's powered by Perplexity, actually, and delivers search results from selected sources.
So AI search popping up across different platforms then?
Exactly. It shows how AI is embedding itself everywhere, regardless of the platform's focus.
Okay, so it's clear AI is just weaving itself deeper and deeper into tech and business. Let's maybe zoom out a bit now. Let's look beyond the big tech headlines at some of the really cool applications in science, conservation, even AI safety itself. What's caught your eye there?
Oh, there's some fantastic stuff happening. I was really struck by Google DeepMind's Perch model.
Perch, what does it do?
It's for analyzing animal sounds, bioacoustics. They've open sourced it to help conservationists. It can listen to hours and hours of audio from, say, a rainforest or a coral reef and identify specific species, including endangered ones like Hawaiian honeycreepers or different types of marine life.
How does it do that? Just by listening?
Essentially, yes. It uses way more training data than their previous version, handles more species, more environments. It can even untangle complex sounds, like multiple animals calling at once, over huge data sets. Conservationists can ask it things like, how many of species X are here? Or are there any newborns?
That must save them an incredible amount of time.
Exactly. It comes with tools that help researchers work even with species where there isn't much data, using techniques like vector search and active learning. No more manually listening through endless audio files. It's a huge boost for conservation efforts.
That is truly amazing, using AI as like an ear for the planet. And sticking with science, there was something new out of MIT, Harvard, and the Broad Institute.
Yes. This one's pretty deep science, but super important. They developed an AI called PUPS.
PUPS.
It predicts where proteins are located inside human cells, their subcellular localization. And the amazing part is it can do this for pretty much any protein in any human cell line.
Even ones it hasn't seen before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even for proteins or cell types it wasn't explicitly trained on. It actually generates an image of the cell highlighting where it predicts the protein will be.
How does it work? That sounds incredibly complex.
It uses a couple of AI techniques. A protein language model to understand the protein structure, kind of like its grammar, and then an in-painting model to understand the context of the cell type, its features, even if it's under stress. It can spot changes caused by mutations that aren't even in the big protein databases, and apparently it consistently beat other AI methods in tests.
The implications for, like, drug development and understanding diseases must be huge.
Absolutely massive. Understanding where proteins are is fundamental to understanding how cells work and what goes wrong in disease.
Okay, so incredible science. But there's also this really interesting, almost counterintuitive approach to AI safety coming out of Anthropic. They're teaching AI to be bad. What's that about?
Yeah, it sounds weird, right? They're experimenting with training models to exhibit harmful behaviors, but in very controlled settings. Then, the crucial part is they meticulously teach the AI how not to do those things.
So the goal is to make it understand bad behavior better so it can avoid it.
Precisely. It's trying to get ahead of the curve, to understand the roots of potentially dangerous, unaligned AI behavior before it happens in the wild with future, more powerful models. The hope is this leads to more robust, more resilient AI systems,
Yeah.
kind of like inoculating them against harmful tendencies.
That's a really fascinating, if slightly unnerving approach. High stakes, I guess.
Definitely high stakes. It raises questions, but the potential payoff for safety could be significant.
And speaking of societal impact, California is doing something interesting with AI training.
Yes, the state of California is partnering with big tech companies, Adobe, Google, IBM, Microsoft, to roll out AI training programs for residents. It's focused on preparing people for future jobs, covering both the technical AI skills and, importantly, AI literacy for workers who aren't necessarily technical.
That seems crucial, making sure everyone has some baseline understanding.
Yeah, it's a recognition that this isn't just for specialists anymore. It affects everyone.
Right. And one last thing on the application front, Minimax and voice cloning.
Ah, yes, Speech 2.5. It's a new voice cloning AI, supports 40 languages. And the really impressive part is how well it apparently mimics a voice while keeping those subtle human elements, accent, age, even the emotion in the voice.
We're getting closer and closer to synthetic voices that are indistinguishable from real ones.
Scary close, some might say. It definitely blurs the lines.
Okay, wow. So that's a lot to take in. GPT-5's arrival, Tesla's big strategy shift, all these specific applications. What does this all mean for us, trying to keep up with this?
Well, I think this deep dive really highlighted a few key things. First, obviously, the sheer speed of progress in AI capabilities themselves. Models like GPT-5 are getting powerful fast, and we see that reflected in niche areas too, like the protein prediction or the animal sound analysis. But second, and maybe just as important, are the big strategic chess moves happening. Tesla's pivot is a huge example, showing shifts in how companies approach building this stuff. And third, there are these critical ongoing efforts in safety, like Anthropic's work, and in preparing society through things like workforce training. It really paints a picture of AI not as one single thing, but this sprawling, interconnected web of innovation and adaptation.
That's a great summary. A mix of huge industry bets, really fundamental research, and these vital steps towards, well, living with increasingly capable AI. So, as you think about all these rapid changes we've discussed, here's something to mull over. We've got these super powerful AI models becoming more available, getting woven into the tech we use every day. At the same time, you have organizations trying these unconventional, almost radical ways to ensure AI safety. What happens when those two trends collide? What kind of unexpected challenges or maybe even opportunities pop up at that intersection? Something we maybe can't quite see yet.